Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to my YouTube channel, a channel that provides you immigration information for your transformation. Are you going through the immigration process? Then this video is for you. Today, I'm going to be talking about request for evidence, or RFE for short. I'm telling you, this video is really going to help you. The information you're going to get today, you do not want to miss this video for anything. So stay tuned and make sure you listen through. I'm also going to be handling a Q&A session this morning. So welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. If you know anybody who needs this video, please send the link to them and we will get started.
Welcome to NIW Approved, your ultimate guide to navigating the National Interest Waiver Green Card process with confidence. Hi, I'm Gertrude Onuoha, ESQ, an immigration attorney with years of experience helping professionals like you achieve their dreams through the NIW Green Card process. Whether you're an engineer, scientist, artist, or entrepreneur, you're in the right place. Here on NIW Approved, we provide expert tips for building a strong case, real-life success stories, answers to your most pressing questions, and actionable strategies to navigate your NIW journey with ease. Ready to take the next step in your immigration journey? Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join our growing community of professionals turning their expertise into approval. Don't just dream it, get it approved. Subscribe now, and let's make your NIW success story the next one.
Okay, welcome once again, everyone. Thank you for joining. And so today we're focusing on something that's really critical when it comes to your immigration journey. You know, when you submit your application to the US government, the US agency that handles the immigration case, that is the USCIS, there is that expectation to, get an approval. You submit your case and then you want to hear back from them with an approval letter. That is the ultimate goal of everyone that's sending in an application. Nobody is expecting a denial. Trust me, nobody wants their case to be denied. But then you get a letter from USCIS. And in that letter, they're asking series of questions. Guys, that letter could be a request for evidence. So the question today is, what is a request for evidence? We usually call it the RFE, short, meaning request for evidence. This is a letter you get from USCIS after you submit your case. In some cases, sometimes they may send a request for evidence, sometimes they may not. It depends on what is going on. But it's a letter that you get after you have submitted your case. So this letter is a letter from the government requesting for evidence or clarification with regards to the application that you submitted. So what this means is that your case is still alive. There's been no decision. They've not been able to make a decision on your case because they need clarification on something. And guys, this clarification could go from very simplistic clarifications or requests to very complex issues. Okay, so this is very important. You really need to pay attention to this because um, failure to deal with your request for evidence definitely will result in a denial. So this is really crucial. And if you are in the EB2 NIW process, in fact, any type of immigration case you're handling, you could really get a request for evidence. So these questions we are going to be dealing with today, they are very important. Now, what type of request for evidence do we normally see? So it could go from very simple things like, you know, show us your medical record, or maybe you missed a birth certificate, or just very simple things. They may be asking for, maybe send us your marriage certificate, or even send us birth certificates of your children, right? It could be so simple. And the way you know whether your request for evidence, I mean, there are other ways of checking how complex it is you want to look at the number of the pages, right? So if it's just like a simple one, you might get 1 or 2 pages. And then it begins to gravitate when it gets really complex, where, for example, they're saying that you have not been able to show eligibility for the classification you're looking for. So if you are asking for anything and they begin to punch hole on your eligibility, because for every immigration benefit you're seeking, there is what is called eligibility criteria. Okay, you have to qualify for the benefit. If you're filing for the EB2 NIW, you have to qualify. There are requirements, right? The EB1A, there are requirements. You're filing through the family-based pathway, there are requirements. If you're going through humanitarian pathway, whether it be asylum, U visa, T visa, right? VAWA, there are legal requirements for these things. So the moment they begin to punch hole and say, you do not meet the requirements, or the evidence that you have submitted does not prove your case, or they begin to even accuse you of something in the letter, right? Because some letters they may say you're lying, or there's fraud, misrepresentation, or it gets really complex. The moment you get all these types of letters, you are getting a request for evidence. So they will give you a timeline to comply with the request. And guys, at that moment, you are one step away from a denial. You are just one step away from you miss it at that point, you will get a denial letter. Don't joke with them. Don't ever joke with an RFE. And that's why today I'm going to discuss with you some things that can really destroy your IRFE case. And while we are working on those things, I will also give you tips on how to fix those things. Okay? All right. Now, number one, you cannot ignore an RFE. You ignore it to your peril. Do you understand? If you ignore an RFE, it's to your peril, because they will give you a time frame for you to respond. So if you get an RFE and you just look away from it and you pretend like it didn't happen, that is to your peril. And they will wait for you. If they gave you 60 days or 87 days or 15 days or 30 days, depending on what is going on that letter, then if you don't respond the next day after the time frame they've given you, you will certainly get what is called a denial. So you want to do your best to pay attention to the RFE. Listen, if you are feeling traumatized by the RFE, because quite frankly, I've seen RFE that that is very traumatic. I mean, you could get RFE running to like 15 pages, 17 pages, and you could tell that this is a war zone. This officer has read my case and they are ready for a fight. So when you get that type of RFE, you don't want to bury it under your pillow and pretend it doesn't exist. If you can't take it, just call your attorney. You have an attorney, tell them to help you with it. And if you don't have an attorney, we can help you with RFEs. We have seen all kinds of RFEs, right? And by the grace of God, we've been able to overcome loads and loads of RFEs. Loads and loads of RFEs, okay? So when you get an RFE, you don't ever want to ignore it. Then another thing you don't want to do when you get an RFE, number two, is that you do not want to partially respond to an RFE. Like, you do not want to do that. You do not want to respond to it partially. You want to make sure that you address every point. So what that means is that you have to open that RFE. If they have 10 points, you do not want to be somebody who's going to address 8 points. You want to make sure that you address all 10 points. Number three, you want to respond early, as soon as possible. See, sometimes they might give you 87 days, okay? And you are thinking, oh, I have over 2 months, and then you don't do anything about it. And maybe 2 weeks to the time you start working on it, and then you find out that this RFE is not just about you responding. There are other things that are being requested for documents in the possession of third parties. Other agencies, you have to contact agencies that will not give you the document they're asking for. 2 weeks then becomes late, and then you're already late in the game. At that point, you're either not answering it fully or you're sending it late, and those could really sink the RFE case. Another thing is repeating the old evidence without adding anything new. The last thing, especially when it comes to the EB2 NIW, right? They have told you that, okay, you do not meet the eligibility criteria for your case, and they want you to answer some questions. They are asking you questions, and then you just repeat what, like, you don't say anything new. You repeat what was in your original brief. That is very annoying. That's very annoying, and certainly you're going to get a denial. Certainly you're going to get a denial. So you don't just want to, for example, if I've seen RFE where they said, okay, you sent in expert letters, these experts are not independent experts, they are not, your experts are not indeed experts. So we think somebody like you should have independent experts, and you already gave them like 7 letters, right, from different experts. And now, rather than getting an independent expert, you are regurgitating what you already gave them. You're repeating the same thing. You're giving them the same evidence, right? Or maybe they're telling you that we do not understand your proposed endeavor in your EB1A case or your EB2 case, right? We do not understand. Your endeavor is not clear. Rather than addressing the clarity of that case, you repeat or regurgitate what you had before. Guys, if it happens, then that's not good. They will certainly be mad, and most likely the case will be denied. Then another thing is missing the deadline. You never want to miss the deadline. You never, ever, ever want to miss your NIW deadline or EB1A deadline. Guys, if you miss the deadline, definitely it means you have no regard for your case. Because at the end of the day, maybe they're asking you for an evidence, they're asking you for something, and then you miss the deadline. In that case, they're going to feel very unhappy with you, and your case will be denied. You never want that case to be denied. So you definitely want to respond. Then finally, I want to say something. When your response is disorganized and not clear, maybe they've asked you about 10 or 15 questions, and rather than mirroring the method or the way the questions were asked, so you need to mirror the questions. So if question one says your proposed endeavor is not clear, number two, you are not eligible, number three, you are not even well positioned, number four, we don't see the importance of your work. So you have to mirror the way and manner the questions are being sent, right? So when you begin to be disorganized and you're not addressing the issues in a very organized manner, guys, that could lead to what is called lack of understanding, lack of clarity for them, and they don't understand what you're saying, and that could lead to a denial of your EB2 NIW RFE, or even any RFE for that matter. So, guys, these are some things that can really, really sink your case. So it's very important that you address all the issues. So I don't know if anybody has any question regarding the RFE or even something that you're going through. I'm very happy to take on any question at this moment. Yes, any questions regarding RFEs? How long do I have to respond to an RFE, and can I get an extension? Okay, this is a very good question because um, so one thing with USCIS, they will give you the timeline. So once you get that letter, look clearly at that letter. They will give you a timeline within which you have to respond to the RFE. So pay attention to that deadline. The deadline will be in the letter. If it's EB2 or NIW, sometimes they may give you like 87 days. They may give you a long time because they know that sometimes these things are not easy to get, to deal with. Sometimes we've seen RFEs where they've given people like 30 days. Please don't confuse RFE with notice of intention to deny. For an RFE, they don't they are just not, they're in the middle, right? If you give them what they want, you gravitate towards an approval. If you don't give them, you gravitate towards a denial. But notice of intention to deny is that they have read your case, they are planning to deny this case, but they're giving you a slim chance, and they may just give you 30 days, right, to just try to see if you can do anything to salvage the case. I think that's amazing for them to do that. All right. So with the RFE, they will give you a timeline. So you need to please respond to that timeline. And with regards to extension, listen, I will never advocate for an extension with an RFE. Please work with the timeline given to you. I mean, in my practice, I've had to go to their office for an extension, you know, and that's a very one-off situation, like very one-off situation. I don't remember what was the details about that, but I know I've had to ask for an extension at some point. But quite frankly, do not ask for it. I don't advocate for it. Just give them what they want within the timeline, and you'll be happy. Please, that's preferred. My recommendation is do not ask for extension. Most times they won't grant it. I'm telling you, they won't. Okay, next question. Any other question regarding any immigration case, any issues that you're going through with regards to the EB2 NIW or EB1A, or even any immigration question? What kind of evidence should I include in my RFE response? Very fantastic question again. See, it's a case by case basis, right? It's a case by case situation. What they're asking for in letter A would be different from what they're asking for in letter B. So again, I can only speak to my experience, but it depends. Whatever they're asking for, they will tell you. If they want evidence, they will tell you. If they want clarification, they will tell you. So we've had people who did the NIW themselves, and when they got the RFE, voluminous RFE, like, even it's like a research paper. When you see some of them, heavy, very heavy RFEs, where they will even discuss all the evidence. You sent this evidence, you sent that evidence, you sent this evidence, we don't agree with you. You do have not proved this point, you have not shown you're eligible, you have not shown national interest waiver, you have not shown extraordinary ability, you have not proved your second merit determination. Like, they will tell you everything they want. So you have to read those things they've written there line by line, in details. You don't mess around with RFEs, because you are one step away from a denial. Like, just one step away from a denial. That's the thing with RFE. So it depends on what they're asking for. You just have to give it to them. Okay, it depends on what they're asking for. So the letter will explain as to what they're asking for. Another thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is that, especially this EB2 NIW, I have seen RFEs where they actually talked about somebody else's case. It's different from the client's case. So if you are doing that yourself and you are probably not using an attorney, so maybe you have a business case and they are discussing about corrosion, they're talking about metals, they're talking about something different, you cannot answer that question. You understand? You have to call them out and say, hey, this is not my case. You're talking about something else. Yeah, but if you don't know, you'll be responding to them. So in such situations, you definitely need to work with an attorney, right? Yeah, any more question? All right. If we don't have any more question. Oh, does receiving an RFE mean my petition will be denied? Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean so. But if you fail to answer the questions asked or provide the evidence or clarification needed, yes, the case will be denied. Yeah. I hate to tell you that, but that's just the truth. Okay, we'll take one more question and then we'll call it a day. Can I get an attorney to help me respond to an RFE, and how does that improve my chances? Yes. So when it comes to getting legal help. Honestly, sometimes the RFEs can be very overwhelming, but I can tell you that if it's just, for example, give us your birth certificate, yeah, it may look simple, but we've dealt with birth certificate issues that are complex. If I've heard of a client who told me his case was denied solely for birth certificate issues. So when you are overwhelmed and you can't answer the question, pick up your phone and call an attorney to help you. Yeah, that's it's as simple as that. But I can tell you some instances where you must, I mean, like it's a must, you must work with an attorney. Number one, where you have a criminal issue and it's you're going to implicate yourself, I think you should work with an attorney. Call your attorney, call an attorney, let them help you. Okay? Where there are criminal issues, you definitely want to speak. You will definitely want to work with an attorney. I'm telling you this, please pay attention. Where because these things can affect your moral character, it can affect your eligibility for the green card. Yes, even when your EB1 petition I-140 is approved, they may have issues with arrests. They may have issues with accountability issues. So you definitely want to work with an attorney where you have criminal issue. Another area where you should contact an attorney when you get an RF is where there is fraud, misrepresentation, because this could certainly lead to a denial. Where you're being accused of something, maybe you're doing a marriage case and they're telling you that this marriage is fraudulent. You definitely want to take up an attorney to help you, okay? Or where there is something with removal and deportation, where removal issues, maybe you did what's it called? A citizenship case, and this is really getting complex and you are about to be placed in removal proceedings. Please pick up your phone and call an attorney. And where they are raising issues as to eligibility, so that is something very common in the EB2 NIW space, where they're saying you are not eligible, we don't understand your proposed endeavor. And we've had cases where people came to us with their EB2 case, their RFEs, and we had to reframe the case. Like, based on the evidence the client gives us, we then begin to reframe the case. I had an environmental scientist case. The guy is a green card holder now, where he had an RF. He presented his case, but with all the evidence he had, he was presenting himself as somebody maybe selling or being a supervisor in a grocery store for EB2 NIW. And of course, he got an RFE. There's somebody who is an environmental scientist. We looked at the evidence. Come on, guy, you need to reframe this case. And we reframed the case, and he got an instant approval. And today, he's a green card holder. He has a wonderful job. His wife is working. She also is also enjoying the American dream, and they are living the American dream. So when you have any doubt as to the eligibility of your case, you want to contact an attorney. Where you have past visa violations, where they are calling you out on a visa violation for something that happened in the past, you need to pick up your phone and contact an attorney. Or where you have complex RFE, the RFE is like almost 20 pages, right? I've seen an RFE where it's overwhelming. Please, when you have any of these issues, reach out to an attorney, let them help you, because these attorneys are used to seeing things like this. They know how to handle it, they know how to reframe your case, they know how to answer this question. And guys, we have helped many clients. I mean, many clients with their RFEs successfully. So if you need to reach out to us, go to my website go-attorney.com and schedule an appointment so that we can sit down and flesh out those issues with you and help you respond to your RFE so that it can be approved. Remember, you are one step away from a denial once you get an RFE. And if you don't do what they want, the case will be denied. On that note, I want to thank you all for joining this beautiful Saturday afternoon. I hope I've been able to help you with information. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. And also, if you have any comments, of course, put it on the chat. I hope I've been able to clarify this whole mystery about request for evidence. Also, I want to specially invite everyone to a seminar that I'm going to be handling, and I'm going to be zooming in on the EB1A green card, which is a kind of really good pathway for a lot of professionals, international students, researchers, scholars, so if you know anyone who is looking to become a permanent resident of the United States, don't need to be inside the United States, they could be outside the United States, please, the link will be sent, and it's right there. Everything is there. You can join my Zoom 7 p.m. on Monday, May 5th. And I will be talking about this wonderful pathway. We used it for a client, and within about 7 months, he got his green card. And it's really, really worked for clients. So I want to encourage you to join. Come, just get the information. If you think it will work for you, then you contact us. And if you know anybody who may be interested, yes, we're happy to definitely, answer all your questions. This is going to be on Zoom, and I'm happy to answer all your questions. On that note, I want to thank everyone for joining us this beautiful afternoon. It's such a beautiful day, and I feel so blessed to be alive. I feel so grateful to God for giving me this opportunity to share all this wonderful information. Guys, you see, your immigration journey is your responsibility, and getting the right information is also your responsibility. So, being on this YouTube family channel, I'm telling you, you will continue to get that information. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe right now, share, like, and you know, help other people get the information, because information is key in the world of immigration. On that note, stay in tune and stay blessed. Have a wonderful rest of your day. This is from Gertrude Onuoha. Thank you very much. Bye. I hope you found valuable information today. At the Law Office of Gertrude Onuoha, we are committed to providing you with clear, useful information to help you on your immigration journey. But don't just take our word for it. Here's what some of our clients say.
It was a great experience working with the law office of Gertrude Onuoha. She supported me all through my journey of getting my green card and was available to answer my questions. I will surely recommend her.
I had the privilege of working with the law office of Gertrude Onuoha for my National Interest Waiver Program, and I can't express enough gratitude for her exceptional services. Thanks to her expertise, dedication, and strategic guidance, my NIW was approved smoothly and efficiently. I highly recommend her.
I attended a Zoom conference hosted by attorney Gertrude Onuoha by chance. After hearing her detailed explanations and client testimonials, I consulted with her. Despite my uncommon research field, she and her team took the time to understand every detail. Thanks to their professionalism and thorough work, my EB2 NIW application was successful. I highly recommend their services.